Hey guys, welcome to week one of A Better Marriage. I want to just say a big thank you to Queen Bee Coffee Company here in McDonough. If you get a chance to stop by and see them, let them know that you love coffee and love them. They've got a great product, so I would encourage you to come check it out. Well, we're in week one of A Better Marriage. And so you've been looking at the book and you've been talking about how you can build your marriage on the grace of God. And so I just really want to encourage you during the week when you're reading the book together as husband and wife, that you really spend time at the end of each chapter going over the questions. You see, the questions and the little prayer time that you have there are a critical component for what you're going to learn in the book. If you did nothing but go through the questions, actually that's going to help you because you're going to be able to talk with each other and communicate with each other in a very, very good way. So today, as you share during your small group time, as you talk to each other about what God is doing in your marriage, I want to encourage you to remember some of the lessons you learned this week. The first thing we learned was that what you believe about God is the most important thing about you. It's more important than anything. It will determine how you live. It not only determines your beliefs, but it determines how you live and how you treat other people. It determines what you believe about marriage. It determines how you treat your spouse, how you treat your kids, how you raise them. So it's a very important part. And so what you believe about God will define everything about you. And so that's the core starting place. Until you get that part right, you're not really going to be able to have a better marriage. Now, are there people that get married and are in love and are able to survive even for a long time? They don't have God at the center of their life? Of course. But I really do believe that when you study what the Bible teaches, that until you get that part right, you're not going to get the rest of it right. So that's the foundational part. Then we looked at how to put Jesus Christ at the center of your life. A lot of people get that confused. They look at the Christian life as a descending list of priorities, and it's kind of like a checklist. I go to church, I check that off of my list. But that's not really how to put Christ at the center. Instead of a descending list of priorities, we put Him at the very center of our belief system and the center of all that we do. And when you're able to do that, then what happens is then you begin to change in your heart, in the way you treat people. And as a result, your marriage is stronger. You begin to treat your spouse better. And it's just a very important thing that we've learned. Also in the book, we talked about a husband's role in understanding grace. Grace being God's unmerited, undeserved, unearned kindness and favor. And He gives this to us. And when a husband in particular begins to learn how to live his life this way, then he's able to extend grace to his wife, to his children. And you begin to build your marriage on the foundation of that. And it just is a revolutionary thing. It begins to change your life. And so if nothing else, I really hope you'll study that chapter about grace and what God does in your life when He gives it to you, and that you don't earn it, but God gives it freely. And we said in that chapter that God can do more in a moment than you can do in a lifetime. And so we really need to depend on His grace. The last chapter, chapter 4, we talked about building a blessed marriage. And what's interesting about the book of Genesis, when God created everything, He then blessed it. He called it good. And He blessed creation. He blessed humans. He blessed work, and He blessed the Sabbath. And so you could really say that what God did there was He blessed the home, and He blessed our work, and He blessed worship or resting in Him. And so this is a critical thing to know, that God blessed it from the beginning in order for you to have a relationship that's rooted and grounded in Him. That's the key. We learned in Genesis that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 1, like a lot of people think, but it's 1 + 1 + 1. In other words, the husband and the wife plus God equals one marriage that is going to be able to be built on grace, to have Jesus Christ at the center, and build on your belief in God. And when you do this, you're going to be able to have a blessed marriage. And remember, God's intention from the very beginning was to bless you, to bless your marriage, to bless humanity. And so I just want to challenge you today, as you're coming together with your small group, as you end this time together, that you think about how God wants to bless you, about how He wants to bless your marriage. Share with each other some of the things that you were talking about in your marriage, some of the things that you were talking about with maybe the struggles that you have had, or maybe what you have learned, or what was an encouragement to you. Because I promise you, if you'll do that, it's going to be an encouragement to other people. Well, I hope that you'll really dig into the time. Don't skip on the reading together and spending time together. There's a temptation for us just to skip to the time of our small group, but I really want to encourage you. Make sure you read together during the week. Ask the questions of each other. Spend the time praying together. And if you do, I know that God's going to bless your marriage, and it's going to be great. You're going to be able to build a better marriage. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.